Hello everyone, welcome to the new video. In this video, we will work on the validations of email and verification text field. In the previous video, we worked on the input validations of first name and last name. If any of text fields is empty, then we show the error below the text field that please enter your first name or please enter your last name. So let's proceed with today's video. In this video, we need to show the errors below these text fields if any field have invalid input. So first we will define a value for these error message which we want to present here. So for that we go to our signup and signup UI state, and in this we will store the error here like this. So I press Ctrl D, email error message, and press Ctrl D, verification code error message. So when user tap on next, then we need to validate this email text field. So for that, to do the validation, we create a use case. So in here we create a package use cases, and in that we create a file. It's a simple class, email validation use case, and in this we create a method execute, pass a value in it, which is the value of the email, and from this we want to return the result whether this email is valid or not. To get we return the result in validation result form, and we need to create this class data class validation result, which contains two values, is success and error message, which is null by default. So in here we access the patrons dot email matcher and pass the value on it and matches, and store it in a variable is valid. If is valid is false, then we return the validation result with an error information is success false, and error message is please enter valid email address. And if it is true, then we will return the success result. Okay, and now we need the instance of this email validation use case in our signup view model. Email validation use case, and in our action at this point we haven't handled these onValueChange action for this email and verification text field. So in here we call the method email onValueChange and pass the action dot value in it. So we create this email validation use case. So before that we need to work on this text field onValueChange. So to handle this we go to our UI first and pass those actions. So in our email container here we will pass the UI state and on action function type. And in here UI state dot email, and on onValueChange we send the action email onValueChange and provide the updated value in it, and also pass the UI state dot verification code here and send the verification code on value change action. Okay, and now we go back to our sign up view model. Call email on value change and pass the value in it. And as this method does not exist, so we go to this method and make a copy of this one by selecting and press Ctrl D to make copy of it. So email on value change, set the email value and set the email error message to null. Same thing for the verification code container, verification code text field. So verification code on value change and set the verification code error to null. So in this section here we have this verification code on value change event. So verification code on value change, pass the action dot value, and at this point let's run the app, see the current behavior and then further improve it. So let's run the app. Okay, so at this point we observe an error, and the error is in our preview message. We haven't passed the UI state and the on action parameter, so pass the UI state here. UI state and on action. Now let's run the app. Let's see whether we have any other error. So we are also seeing this error in our sign up content. We haven't passed the UI state in this. So UI state and on action equal to on action. So let's run the app again. Okay, so our app is up and running. So type first name, last name, tap on next, and in here we will provide the email address, and if it is empty and user tap on next, then we show the error message below this. But right now it's moving to the next component, but we need to show the error message below this. And for temporary we hide this verification code and include this in flow after the validation of the email text field. So in our email container here we comment this verification code text field, and below this text field we need to show the error. So for error we have already defined used a text composable. In here we will copy it from here, paste it in here, and use the email error message. Okay, and now in our sign up view model we have this next onClick method which is called whenever user tap on this next button. So in this method in the email branch case, let's say when the email container is visible to the user, then this part will be executed. So here we call the method handle email next onClick, and in this method we will validate the UI of the email address of the user. So for that we create a variable email validation result dot execute, and in here pass the email address. So if result is not successful, then we set the error message in the UI state. So for that we create a variable updated UI state dot value dot copy and set the email error message. And update the UI state. And return the same component which we have, which is the signup view state dot email. And if it is correct, then we move right now move to the password container. Okay, so let's run the app and verify this. Okay, so here type the first name, last name. First, the text field is empty. Let's tap on next, and we are seeing this error. If I type test and tap on next again, seeing the same error, and at Gmail, right now it's still not a complete email address. So if I tap on next, then we again see the error, and if I complete this email address by typing .com and press next, then this email address is valid and we are navigated to the next component. But the requirement is that when user tap on when this email address is valid, after tapping on the next button, we show this verification code to the user. So for that we need to modify our UI state. So in our email container, we only need to show it if the email address is valid. So in our signup UI state, we have an enum which represent each component on this screen. So in here, one possibility is we pass a parameter here, show verification code, and make it boolean. But we cannot pass a parameter here because it's an enum constants, and we can do it in this way. Let's say we pass it to the email enum class constructor, and then we need to set this variable for each of its type, which is not appropriate because we only need that value for this email container only. So that's where the need of seal classes come, this thing we cannot achieve with the enum class. So we need to convert this, use the seal class instead of enum. So here we create the seal class with the same name, SignUp-08. Right now the name will be conflicting, so for temporarily I will write 2 at the end of this one, and here we create data object. If any type contains no parameter, then we use data object. So full name, SignUp-08. So actually we use interface because we don't have any common parameter which require for all of these style classes. So interface, and press Ctrl D. Here we need email, which will be our data class, and in that we pass a parameter is show verification code, and by default this will be false. And we do same thing for press Ctrl D, move it down, and make copy of these up to 3 times. And in here we have password, address, success. So now we can safely remove this one and change this name back to by pressing Shift F6 2 times and remove this 2 from end of this class name. And now in our signup view model, we will observe some error here, as this is a data class which can be changed. So we use is here, and we also seeing the error when we are returning this view state. So use parentheses here because it's a data class, and also use parentheses here. So at this point, when user, where it is, in next onClick, here we have handle email, next onClick, and in this, if email address is valid, then we again return the email address but pass the in this case it is false, and if it is true, then we return the email view state and pass the true in it, which means that show the verification code. So on our UI side, in email container, here we will use a check UI state dot view state. Okay, actually that's an issue, we need to cast it. So let's make it simple. We pass the view state in the parameter signup view state dot email and use it in here view state dot show verification code. If it is true, then we show this verification code. and if it is false, then we show this email container. And we also need to show the error for this verification code. So for that we will copy this text from here and paste it in here and use the verification code error message. Now we need to pass this view state parameter in this composable. So in here we will pass the view state dot signup view state dot email, and in our signup content we also need to update it, pass the view state in it, UI state dot view state, and we are still observing this. So what we will do is view state, and we can use this variable here. Actually use is here, that's why we're seeing the error. And if I remove this one from here and use directly here UI state dot view state, then it will work. Okay, and now next is we go to our signup view model, and if email is valid, if it is true, then this will be returned and the verification code will be shown to the user. And when user type the verification code in the text field and tap on next, then we need to verify this text verification code text field. So for that, here we will get the actually here we will pass the current view state signup view state dot email, and if current view state dot show verification code, if it is true, then we will verify the verification code. So if UI state dot value dot verification code is equal to here, we will add some test verification code. So let's say 1 2 3 4 for the verification, and if it is equal to this 1 2 3 4, then we will return the next component, which is the signup view state dot password. And if it is not, then we will return the actually no need to use else branch, we will return the signup view state. Actually we will update the UI state, updated UI state dot value dot copy, and set the verification code error message, please incorrect code, and update the UI state and return the current view state, because we don't want to move to any next component. So let's run the app and verify this behavior. Before that, I'm observing some error. So here actually yes, here we need to pass the current view state. Now let's run the app and verify this behavior. Okay, so our app is up and running. So let's go to the email container, and in here provide the valid email address. Tap on next, and we are seeing the verification code, and in here we will pass the verification code. Let's pass a wrong verification code 123. Actually it's not updating. We need to see the OnValueChange action. So in our email container we are sending the wrong action here. We need to send the verification code OnValueChange action. And in our signup view model we also verify verification OnValueChange is called in, and in that we are updating the correct values. So let's run the app again. So enter first name, last name, tap on next, provide valid email address, tap on next and provide the verification code. Let's add a wrong verification code, press next. We are seeing the error message, and if we add complete correct test verification code and tap on next, then we will navigate it to this password container. So with that, we complete the objective of this video. So let's summarize. In this video, we want to show the verification code, validate the email address and verification code text field, and show the error message below the text field if that text field contains invalid value. So to show the error messages, we create two parameters for the error messages: email error message and verification code error message. And to verify the email address, we create a use case, email validation use case, in which we pass a value and validate whether this email is valid or not, and return the error if that is not valid. And in our email container here, we reformat it a little bit to show the text field in correct order. So when user first land on the screen, then this email text field is shown to the user. After validating the email address, then verification code is shown to the user. To achieve this objective in our SignUp-08 state, we migrate our enum class to enum interface, and for the email container, we set a value show verification code, which identify whether should we need to show a verification code or not. And in our email container, we use this check to show the verification code, and if it is false, then we show the email text field. And below this text field, we are using the verification code error message to show the text composable if it is not null. Same for the email text field. And in our signup view model, in onAction, we created verification code OnValueChange and email OnValueChange. Whenever user type anything in this text field, then that value should be updated in the UI state. So this will be reflected on the UI as well. So in our next onClick method, we call another method. In the email case, handle email next onClick. And in this, we do the verification first. If it's not if show verification code is false, then we validate the email address and do the respective action. And if currently user is seeing the verification code text field, then we validate the verification code, and if it is valid, then we navigate the user to the next component, which is a password container. So this is it for today's video. I hope this would be meaningful information for you. Thank you for watching. Bye.